Just 2010, we didn't hear anything. But 2011, Shekau came out and said, because this guy, our leader, was killed, so they came into being. And the rest is history. You can see that when we have unaddressed grievance, complaints, and so on and so forth, abuses, violations of our human rights, definitely there will be conflict. There will be, serious violence. This is Peacebuilding. That is part of what we're talking about when we have a design activities to address structural conflict. When we anticipate definitely that we are 2, 3 more millions together in a society, definitely there will be conflict. Even me alone, I have conflict within myself this morning. Let alone my family, let alone my village and the country generally. There will be conflict. So we must anticipate that there will be differences of opinion, differences of views, maybe over water, over land, over resources. So when we are anticipating there will be conflict, we must also design how we are going to address when it comes, so that this conflict will not turn into physical combat. It won't turn into violence. So that is why we call peace building, to address the structural, and proximate causes of violence. In order for that violence, then again, where violence used to come over and over again, in order to address that conflict, in order not to relapse again for that violence to come. So that's the essence of peace building. Yeah, go on. Peace building as a concept has really transformed into different, it's very, very difficult now to differentiate between peace building and development, but there are differences between them, but we are designing areas, activities, actions in order not to have a relapse of conflict. Thank you. So peace. We say, what is peace? What is peace? What is peace? We assume, we understand the meaning, the concept, the term of peace. Peace is, if without peace, we cannot be in this hall. But we have conflict. So we need to resolve it. So it's quite far. When we say, okay, it's absence of violence, absence of war. So that is why we say here that peace is sometimes seen as absence of war. So, but the meaning is more than that. So in social sense, peace is commonly used to mean lack of conflict and freedom from fear of violence between individuals or heterogeneous groups. We are made up of different views, different persons, different ethnic groups, different beliefs, different sexes, and so on. We are bound to have conflict differences. So this is when we have that differences and we have the confidence that these differences will not cause violence. This is what we call peace. Peace from inside. And today, when we say, okay, let us even have cessation, like my DG has said, cessation of violence, cessation of war, that there will be peace. So this is, an example of that. So you can say peace is when everyone lives in safety, without fear or threat or violence. And no form of violence is tolerated in the law or in practice. So election, we have seen that it's an integral part of democracy. Election, it can be in different forms. To choose, to decide, elective officials to take decision for us in terms of governance. So election is an integral part of the democratic process that enables the citizenry determine fairly and freely who should lead them at every level of government, periodically or take decisions that shape their social, economic, and political destiny. So in case they falter, still possess the power to recall them or vote them out in the next election. So, and we have different forms of electing people, representatives, into different positions. In our club, in our village, in the school, student union election, in the country, and we are preparing one. You can use maybe option A4, you can use ballot system, you can use different forms, to do this kind of election. So, up. So it's an instrument, go to the next subtitle. So what are human rights now? This is very, very important because this is the cruise, the cause of the service that we said is in our mission of Rotaract. I was once a Rotaractor when I was in school, but I was not a serious one. So, but today, I think I will revisit that my commitment to commit to being a Rotarian kind of, Thank you very much. So human rights are standards that recognize and protect the dignity of all human beings. You know? So human rights govern how individual human beings live in society and with each other, as well as their relationship with the state and the obligations that the state have towards them. Human rights law obliges government to do some things and prevent them from doing others. So individuals also have the responsibility, and in using their human rights, they must respect the right of others. In Nigeria, it is common to hear that it is where the right of some of you stop that some people start, kind of. So I think we are making some sense in that. So no government group or individual person has the right to do anything that violates another's right. Don't violate my right. I will not violate yours. When we have that, there will be peaceful society. There will be peaceful coexistence. So human rights are universality, universal. That is, the same human right I have is the person, everybody, has in the whole world. The Queen Elizabeth that died, and the same person I am here, that is the same right to life, right to freedom of speech, right of movement, right to my belief, to worship. So these rights are grouped into economic rights, social rights, cultural rights, political rights, and so on and so forth. So human rights are universal, inalienable. That is, you cannot just separate it from an individual. It is a natural right. Indivisibility, interdependence. It depends on the cross-cut. Interrelated, non-discrimination, participation, inclusion, accountability, and the rule of law. So there are social, economic, or cultural, political, and civil rights. The realization of one depends on the others. When you achieve one, to achieve one is to achieve others too. You can't just leave one out of the other. That is why today Nigeria has a National Human Rights Commission. So others and rights to health may depend, the realization of one depends on the other. That is, right to health may depend on the right to education and the right to information. We will make connection now, Nexus. That is the major part of our last discussion now. So this is the Nexus now. We have understood the meaning of election. Yeah, we understand it. We understand peace. And peace building now, then we have talked about human rights. So how are we going to connect? How are we going to relate them together? How are we going to link these three major concepts now? So between peace, election, and human rights. So this is just a small illustration, and I got some examples. This can be explained through the following. When there is peace, there will be no violence. When there is respect for rule of law, there will be no violence. Then protection of human dignity, that is human rights, and so on and so forth. There will be harmony and orderliness and order conducive to peaceful election. Election is coming. We are calling on youth. We are making up in order to make that election that we know in the past used to be violent, used to be chaotic. People used to die. Property used to be lost. And which shouldn't be, because we are electing our representatives into different offices. So we need to remind ourselves at this moment to make it peaceful. So you are now connecting peace and election now there. So it's very, very important. When we elect capable and charismatic leaders into positions, they will promote good governance that will foster peace. You can see it very well now. So when we have the peace to elect person that is charismatic, officials that are capable, that will promote, foster rule of law, constitutional accountability, good governance, then peace will be increasing and increasing. So the rule of law and respect of human rights. Yes, up. Yeah, violation? Yeah, small. Okay, violation of these rights by elected leaders. That is, when somebody impeached, abused these rights. Security officials, maybe political leaders, probably, or maybe the traditional rulers, religious leaders impeach on this our right, then it may lead to violence. It may lead to misunderstanding in the society. So we can see a very good example recently in 2020, NSAS, The EndSARS protest, we know that, EndSARS, the youth, came out against the police brutality, the forceful arrest, of youths. Bring your laptop, bring out your handset, I'm checking the phone, I'm checking this. And this is supposed not to be. It is against their right. And over the years, the SARS was alleged to be doing this. And this culminated into EndSARS protest. And we're all living witnesses to what really happened 2 years ago in October 2020. So it led to EndSARS protest. And after EndSARS protest was peaceful. Yes, it was peaceful to a greater extent. But later, when the Lekki shooting came in, on the October 20th, then it led to violence. You saw violence, the attack to warehouse where people are attacking and scooping palliatives and so on and so forth. So it is very, very important. Is it? Yeah. That's okay. EndSARS protest. So democracy, good governance, human rights and others will promote free, fair, credible, and violence-free election. We are preparing for election now. So when all these elements are promoted, definitely there will be violence-free election, which we are promoting. So as youth, we are expected and obligated to play active role in this contest. Peace, election, and respect of human rights. They are very, very important. So we have related these three, now together. So activities that will prevent conflict or violence can be called peace building that we defined initially. So you can see some activities: dialogue, peace education. We are doing peace education now. Training of trainers, mediation, sports, awareness creation. We are doing awareness now. Sensitization. The national grassroots peace sensitization, voter education, and human rights awareness. These are things we are also doing now. Enlightenment, advocacy campaign, and so on. So peace building is content specific. Thank you very much.